Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. Remember, if the body can get sick, it can also get well. Lifestyle is the medicine. Check us out on the web. Go to asarx.com. That's asarx.com. And if you haven't got a free copy of our book, we're giving it away. Giving you a brand new copy of our hardback book. And you can go there. It's my best-selling book. You can go to myfreehealthbook.com. That's myfreehealthbook.com and pick up a copy of it. We'll give it to you for free. You just got to cover a little bit of the shipping for us to get it to you. I think that's a fair shake. So just cover that. I'll give you the book for free. And the reason we're doing that is we want to help as many people as possible on a mission to be able to help as many people as possible live the life they were designed to live. That is what it's all about. It's to be able to really make a huge impact in your overall health. And remember, to live your potential, health is the vehicle for you to get where you need to go, do what you need to do, be with who you want to be with, love who you want to love, have the energy and vitality to do and accomplish everything you want in life. And so we want to help you get there. And that's what we do here on the show. 888-283-7272 is the number. Give us a call. Or go to the site. You can go to asarx.com. Send me an email. I can make it part of the show, or hit me up on all my social, all at Asa Rx TV. Any of the social handles, you can find me there as well. All right, let's get to the phones, kick off, and go to Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hi. I went to the hospital this week and was diagnosed with acute colitis, and I just want to know what I can eat other than the brat diet because I'm losing weight.
Yeah, and the brat diet is fine for periodically, okay? But for the long term, probably not the best. So when if your doctors have you on that, great. But, you know, it's all about cutting out inflammation, right? I mean, there's certain foods. We've got, and of course, if you get a copy of my book, which you can get a free copy right now, go to myfreehealthbook.com. We'll send it to you. But if you understand that there's foods that create inflammation in the body, actually make inflammation, makes it worse. And there's foods that take inflammation out of the body. So if you can kind of realize and figure out what foods work, which ones don't, which ones you need to stay away from, all of that, when you get that down, that can make a big difference. And so the anti-inflammatory diet that's in my book is a great one to utilize, and you can compare it with the brat diet. It has some similarities, but it gives you, I think, a little bit more of a variety, and it's more well-rounded because here's the thing. If you take too many of the foods out, you're going to miss nutrients. And one of the number one reasons that our bodies break down is because of nutritional deficiencies. More than anything else, that's one of the main reasons. So the nutritional deficiencies, that's the big deal. So I want to encourage you that one of the things that is super, super important is to begin to follow that and keep it kind of as your primary. Because everybody gets sidetracked on everything, right? But I'll tell you, you're eating. We are what we eat, just like Granny taught us. She taught me that. I went through all the schooling and clinicals and everything. And at the end of the day, we are what we eat. She was right. She nailed it. So that's what I want to encourage you. If you want to know what you can eat, it's a laundry list. So you really want to get a copy of the book and focus on the foods that are on the approved list. There's kind of an approved list and a non-approved list. You want to stay away from, obviously, the non-approved. And really stick to that and make it a huge part of what you do. Okay, but keep me posted. If you need help getting a copy of that book, just let my team know, and they can help you. Okay, 888-283-7272. You're listening to Asa Rx. Go to asarx.com. We're here to help you live your potential. Alan in St. Louis, Missouri says, I work on my feet all day, and I've noticed that my knees are beginning to hurt. What could this be? Well, the weight bearing, depending on how much you weigh, because you didn't list that in the email, but it depends on how much you weigh. It could just be the weight bearing. Could be that you have inflammation, and inflammation is a big deal. It starts in the gut, goes to other areas, okay? And if you have a lot of inflammation, that can really begin to lay the standard out of what's going on in the body. So I would first and foremost get a good idea of what that looks like. Okay. That's huge. So here's where I'd start. Let me back up. I would start with getting your fatty acids looked at. All right. Because you've got different types of fatty acids in your profile. You got 6s and 9s and 3s. You need to get a good understanding of where that is, plus trans fats, and see what's going on with that whole situation. The reason is because when your fatty acids are low, that's one of the main markers for inflammation. It'll make inflammation go up high, and the joint pain begins to happen too. Now, the other thing too is you could be low in vitamin D. Vitamin D3, when it is low, can create and mimic joint pain. And I mean joint pain where there's been no injury, right? Like you're talking about, you're just on your knees all day or on your feet all day and the knees hurt. And that can happen. Definitely can. So it's really about making sure you have the right kind of foods in the right combination, but it's also making sure that you have the right nutrients. And vitamin D is one of those super nutrients. It's actually a hormone, but we still classify it as a vitamin, and that's cool. But it regulates so much in the body. It's a big deal. So I would focus on that first and foremost. Get a blood test done, see what your vitamin D levels are, get a blood test done, figure out what your fatty acid levels are, and then build it up like a muscle, like a gas tank. You got to fill it up, build it up, and begin to keep the body where it needs to be. And that's what's going to help you get out of this situation. I mean, could it just be arthritis in the knee? Yes, but that's such a blanket term. It's like okay, well, duh, we all have arthritis, right? And it's like, duh, as my daughter would say, right? So it's true. It's true. And we just have to get to a point where really when the nutrition is right in the body, when your fitness is right, it doesn't matter if you're 25 or 85. You can beat so much of what we deal with in our health and completely win. That's what I love about this whole thing, is that you don't have to be stuck. And a lot of people feel stuck, but you don't have to be stuck. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. If you're looking for a healthcare provider in your area, someone that believes like we do, check out our providers. You can go to the website, go to asarx.com. And you can easily find our providers there that will help you go to the next level with your health and with your life. And that's what it's all about. It is about thriving. Our Healthy University system teaches you, trains you. We have a campus to be able to help you come to. You can come hang out with us. You can watch it online. But we've got a whole teaching system to be able to get you to the next level with your health and with your life. So I encourage you to check that out. If you don't have a free copy of the book, let us know, and we'll get you a copy. It's a hardback copy of my best-selling book. We're giving it away for free. I give it to you. Just got to cover a little bit of shipping costs. Go to myfreehealthbook.com. We'll get a copy of that to you. More of your questions, and I see you waiting there on the lines. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Lines are open with questions about your health. Give us a call or go to the website. You can go to asarx.com. That's asarx.com. We're here for you each and every day, taking you from where you are in your current state of health to where you need to be. Because you do. You need to be in a good spot. You need to be in a place where you can thrive and not just barely make it. You need to be in a place where you can really be the best version of you, and that's what we want to help you do. So if you haven't got a free copy of my book, go to myfreehealthbook.com. We give you a copy so you can have it. And it can really help transform your life, which it does. And we've got so many testimonials and stories of people that it has. It's good information. And it's kind of your textbook for natural health and ways to live a better lifestyle. It's the things you can pick up and do in your kitchen like the minute you read it, which is why it's so cool. I wrote it that way so it's applicable and you can jump in and get started ASAP. All right, let's jump on the phones and get over to Anna. Hi, Anna. Welcome.
I'm allergic to everything: foods, chemicals, animals, dust, everything, medicines. I have back problems, so I can't exercise. I have breathing problems, so I can't walk well. And I'm disabled and on disability.
Now, let me stop you right there. So, allergic to everything, right? So you got to define everything. Being allergic to everything may not really be everything, okay? So being allergic, I get it. Being allergic is a lot of times, remember, when you're allergic seemingly to everything, the gut has got an issue all on its own. There's a massive issue in the gut that needs to be looked at. And there's an issue really more than anything with inflammation, because the gut itself, if there's all kinds of yeast and fungal issues, or if there's just an imbalance of the acidity versus the alkalinity, you can start having issues where there's excessive amount of histamine being developed by the foods you eat. And maybe they're healthy foods and maybe they're not, but the foods you're putting in your body, a lot of times are producing excessive histamine, and that's what causes the allergy type symptoms like the congestion, the runny nose, and the itchy eyes and all that. That's what creates that, is that whole situation. So you want to really look at a good, kind of in a good spot or a good space for why that happens. And it really comes down to your habits more than anything. And the good thing about that is habits may be tough to change in some ways, but also not hard to change in other ways. So that's kind of a good way to look at it and figure out that you can change and you can get better and you don't have to be stuck. You really can make a difference with where you are. It's about making the right choices and doing kind of the right thing. So I want to encourage you that you can do that. You just have to come up with a good, solid game plan to be able to pull that off. And we'll help you with that. That's what we're going to talk about. So with being allergic to that, first thing you want to do, always get with somebody and get started on a good eating plan that eliminates the foods that create inflammation. Now, like I said, the anti-inflammatory diet that's in my book is, you can simply get that at myfreehealthbook.com, myfreehealthbook.com. Get the anti-inflammatory diet there. It's in the book, but the hardback book is going to give you so much more, and it'll be a guideline to be able to help you really dig in and be able to create change for yourself. So I always recommend that you get coached and have a good provider with you that can work with you, that understands lifestyle-based care and medicine. So you need that. And our coaching team is amazing. So if you need help, our coaches are always available. And then we got providers around the country that can help you too. So it's kind of like whatever you want to do, we'll be there to help you along the way. That's where you want to start, though. That's the key. So the key is to really be able to thrive. It's about your habits. So you got to get your habits right first, okay? Now, I get the whole disability thing. I get it. It's real. And I've got so much respect for people that get into that because it's a challenge. But just remember that even though there may be some physical limitations for you, that you don't let your mind get wrapped up in the disability mindset. And what I mean by that is that you're always able, okay? You have ability. Maybe it's not what it used to be. Maybe it's not in the capacity, but you are able, and you're able to be the best version of you today. And so think of yourself at what you're able to do. Think about your ability. What ability? I had a great pastor friend of mine that said that it's in life, if you look at it a certain way, it's all about perspective, right? So he said in life, it's all in how you look at it. It's about perspective. And he said it's not about what you've lost, because I think we get into a place so many times where we sit around and we think about, well, what we've lost in every area of life, right? But it's not about what you've lost. If you focus on what you have left, maximize what you have left, and then that's the real game plan, okay? That becomes your new normal. That becomes your new plan for today, because you've already lived life. You've lived life in certain seasons of life. Okay, great. What's this season look like? You got a certain amount of what you have left. So maybe you have to do disability as technicality for finances or whatever, but don't let your mind wrap yourself up in that you are, and know that you are able. And you're able to be able to do exceedingly abundantly more than you could ever ask, think, or do if you'll put your mind to it. You know, one of the great things my dad taught me when I was a kid is there's a phrase he would always use, and I still have it today. I can still hear him saying it, and I've lived it out. And people say, how do you accomplish so much? How do you do so much? How have you done so much? And why is it almost that no, you don't even hear the word no? And I really don't. Like it serves me well, and sometimes it doesn't serve me well. Like I need to listen probably a little bit more, but I really don't hear the word no. Not when my mind's set on something. And it's because I really believe from a very, very early age, my dad said, you can do anything you put your mind to. Not that you put your body to, not that you put your hands to or your feet to, but anything you put your mind to, you can do it. Your mind, the power of your mind is powerful. So I want to encourage you. Yes, there's a strategy for getting out of these allergies. It's an eating strategy of elimination. And there's a whole plan about that in my book, okay, myfreehealthbook.com. But just know that you're able. Know that you're not bound by limitations and you're not bound by your past, that you have a brand new future, and you decide that of what that's going to look like. We'll be right back. Did you know that you can listen to the Asa Rx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Triple 828-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Lines are open with questions about your health. Give us a call. Or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. I'm Asa, your host, here with you each and every day. You can check us out. All the social media is at Asa Rx TV. Asa Rx TV. You can easily find us there and jump on board with everything we're doing. Instagram's where I'm the most active. But we do Facebook and Twitter, and I hang out on some of those platforms too. Spotify is really good for us. You jump in and check out our Spotify. We release new albums, as we call them, once a quarter. So check out Spotify, and you'll be able to see that. And jump on board with all that we're doing. We are here to help you live your potential and become the best version of you. That's what this whole thing's about. Health is just a vehicle. Like I can sit here and help you with your health all day long and come up with ideas. I get all that. But ultimately, it's for you to live better. I mean, that's what the show's about. It's not about, should I take fish oil or a multivitamin? Although all those things are important, and I'll tell you all the strategies to have a great, healthy body. I care more about what you decide to do. I care more about your will to and your want tos. I care more about the choices that you make every single day and how that impacts your overall health and your overall life. That's what I want to see. That's what we care about here. More than anything. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. All right, let's jump in and talk to Terry. Hi, Terry.
Well, I'm doing a blood type diet where you eat according to your blood type, and it says under every blood type that coconut's not good for us under any blood type. And so, and I also looked it up on my phone, is, like coconut or coconut oil good for us? And one study says it is, and then the other study that says it isn't is something about saturated fat, and the strand of saturated fat is not good for our heart. And so I just want to know the truth to see if the diet that I'm on is correct, and then also the other study that said it's not good. I just want the truth to know if anyone knows if it's beneficial for us or not. It's kind of conflicting information. So anyway, that's all my question is, if coconut oil, coconut pure is good for us because of the diet, the blood type diet that I'm on.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, it's a great question. The blood type diet is, Dr. Diamond, he did research on that, and there's been research done on it even before him, which he did a good job with it, really did. And there's some benefits to some of that, but I'll tell you this, coconut oil, from everything, there's a lot of conflicting information, you're right. And I think you got to look at where the sources are of that conflicting information, like who's benefiting from that conflict, or who's trying to tear it down. There's a big game going on. It's all about, it's a game of different people doing research and who believes who and who has the better research. But if you look at the mechanics of coconut oil and coconut, I mean, the benefits are so high across the board in every way that it's a no-brainer. So I would encourage you. I mean, I do coconut oil. I'm a huge fan of it. It's in my book. I teach it. I eat it. I use it. I cook with it. And it's a major part of my diet. And I think that coconut oil, because it's what we call a medium chain triglyceride, MCT. So it's a fat, but it burns in the body like a carbohydrate. So it's really unique in how it works. But it's great for getting your calories up. If you're trying to keep calories up while you're going like a low carb or something like that, it really helps. But coconut oil is antifungal too, and it's got anti-yeast. So if you got all that kind of stuff going on in the gut, coconut oil is essential because it comes in and really helps to break a lot of that down and make a difference in that way. So those are the things you got to look at and kind of understand that coconuts are really good for you. I think they're just more than anything a superfood. I think there's so many benefits to them. They also really help with thyroid function. They help regulate thyroid function and how well it does. I mean, all of that plays a role. So you really have to look at, they could say, well, it's a saturated fat and it's going to make you have a heart attack. No, it's not. Okay. We need saturated fats to make our omega-3 fats, the monounsaturated fats. We need the saturated fat to even make the other work. Like if you just have all non-saturated fats, you got to have saturated fats for everything to work right. So you have to have them. So I'm a big fan. I think it's beneficial, and I think it works really well to help restore the body in a lot of ways. Okay, I hope that helps. And again, I talk a lot about that in my book, and you can pick up a hard copy of my book. Just go to myfreehealthbook.com. That's myfreehealthbook.com. You can find it there, and I think it'll be an encouragement to you. It's free. We send it to you. You just got to cover the shipping. Okay. So do that, and I think that'll be a good place for you to start because it really does. The coconut oil, I think, is extremely beneficial. 20 addictive foods. We're going to go through those. You think you're hooked? You think you're addicted to food? Most people don't. And then you take the food away from them for a week and watch them freak out. Right. So if you have an issue, there's foods that kind of fit in these categories. The different categories for food addictions go like this. So there's chocolate and there's French fries, and these are both high in fat and refined carbohydrate and sugar. Then there's cheese and bacon, which is high in fat but not refined carbohydrates and sugar. Pretzels and soda, high in refined, everything that's on an airplane, right? So high in refined carbohydrates and sugar, but not fat. Broccoli and chicken, low in fat, low in refined carbohydrates and sugar. So in general, the researchers found that this is what they used in the study, by the way. They used these categories. So how many of you think the chicken and broccoli people were all excited? They were not excited, I can promise you. So in general, the researchers found that processed foods high in fat and having high glycemic load were the most frequently associated with the addictive eating behaviors. And the glycemic load measures how quickly a standard serving of a particular food will spike your blood sugar. There was an interesting exception, they said. And the researchers found that men had more of a problem with some of the processed foods, like steaks, the nuts, the cheeses, than the women did. They actually had more of an issue with that. And here's the list. We're going to go down the list of the foods that they used in this study. But it was pizza, chocolate, chips, cookies, ice cream, French fries, cheeseburger, soda, cake, cheese, bacon, fried chicken, rolls, popcorn, buttered, of course, breakfast cereal, gummy candy, steak, muffins, nuts, and eggs. Okay? And they said, although some of the foods in the list were unprocessed, the researchers observed that the processing tends to result in higher concentration of addictive substances in a food with an addition of fat, carbs, and sugar. So in other words, the dose of fat and sugar you get in a cake or pizza is much higher than you would find in nature. for sure. No doubt about it. So these are some of the most addictive foods they have, and I'll have this list on the website if you want to go to asarx.com and go into our blog section, and you'll be able to see that. We've got all these health articles there that we put out every week, and you can go there and find it, and then, of course, get everything you need. Find whatever you need. That's where all the articles and that's where everything is that can really help you along the way. So I want to encourage you to go check that out. Okay. Big deal when it comes to food addiction. And we're seeing it more and more than ever. Food addictions are a big deal. Food addictions play a big role. Food addictions are really the biggest challenge, I think, because we talk about drugs and alcohol and cigarettes, but I think food's the greatest addiction. Because once everybody gets off the other ones, what do they turn to? They turn to food. Nobody turns to like fitness for the most part to get all amped up and be addicted, right? I mean, I'm probably addicted to fitness. I work out 6 days a week, sometimes 2 and 3 times a day. Is that an addiction? I don't know. I just feel good. And I got to teach you guys this stuff. So I have to be the ultimate. Like I have to be the guy doing all that, right? So that's a big key. But I would encourage you, though, look at what's an addiction, what's not, and really start working on your habits, because your habits are going to make the biggest difference overall. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Let's get over to Virginia. Hi, Virginia. Virginia, you with us?
I have a problem with bloating and gas. Can you tell me something natural that I can do for that situation? I don't know what's causing the gas and the bloating.
It's a great question. It really is, because bloating is something that I think so many people struggle with. And it sounds so simple. You're like, well, I just feel so bloated. A lot of people are bloated. Like bloating is like, it should be considered a health challenge. It really is. So what happens is the gut, the bacteria in the gut gets out of balance. And so you can build up things like yeast or fungal issues or heavy metals. You can build up those kind of things. Heavy metals a lot of times not so much, but the yeast and fungal issues for sure. And then if the bacteria gets out of balance, that's where everything really starts to kick in. So probiotics, at least 30 billion, maybe 40 billion in per capsule. Digestive enzymes are really good. Hydrochloric acid, which you can help stimulate with apple cider vinegar, because sometimes the bloating is your body not being able to break down proteins very well. And the apple cider vinegar is a great way to do that. So I just want to encourage you, you have to get your diet right. So get a copy of my book, myfreehealthbook.com. It's free. Go to myfreehealthbook.com. And the anti-inflammatory diet is in there, and it will be a real blessing to you. Okay? Keep me posted how it goes. This is Asa Rx. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Triple 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Lines are open with questions about your health. Give us a call or go to the website. Go to asarx.com. That's asarx.com. We're here for you each and every day to take you from where you are in your current state of health to where you need to be, to live your potential and help you become the best version of you. All right, most teens' physical activity now is happening at school, and that's about it. About half of the young teens' daily physical activity occurs at school, but it accounts for just a fraction of their time there. So we knew that schools were a major source of physical activity for kids, but we were surprised that kids spent only 4.8% of their time at school physically active. The lowest of all locations, said study lead author Jordan Carlson, director of community engaged health research at Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City. Besides helping to prevent obesity and chronic disease, physical activity has benefits for bone health, brain development, academic achievement, on-task behavior, and mental health, they said. So kids have a natural instinct to move around. They just do. And schools can support it by providing more opportunities for students to be active, like incorporating physical activity in the classroom is one way of doing that. Study also found that walking to school added an extra 15 to 20 minutes of overall physical activity to children's days, yet the proportion of kids who walk to school has dropped from 40% a few decades ago to 15% now. So building schools closer to students' homes, improving pedestrian safety, and utilizing drop-off zones when the distance to school is too far, they could have meaningful impacts on their overall physical activity and health, Carlson said. But the researchers now measured how much moderate to vigorous physical activity nearly 550 teens received daily by outfitting them with a GPS tracker and an accelerometer for an average of 7 days. The group of teens ranged from 12 to 16 and was diverse in terms of gender. So they had a good variety of it. The teens spent about 42% of their waking time at school and a little more than a quarter of their time at home. They also spent about 13% of their time in their neighborhoods and 14% of their time elsewhere. So overall, the study found that they spend an average of 39 minutes a day engaged in moderate to vigorous physical activity, significantly less than the 60 minutes recommended for healthy development and obesity prevention. On school days, just over half this activity time occurred at school, the study found. And when average across the full week, including weekends, teens got about 42% of their total physical activity while they were in school, which I think is interesting. But they got about 10% of their total physical activity each week in the neighborhood or around their school, the study found. But despite the declining budgets, it's important that the schools not neglect the value of physical education. I completely agree. It's a big deal, and I don't think we tackle it enough and put enough importance on it, but it's a really, really big deal. And the most important implication coming out of the study was that as a society, including parents and educators, healthcare providers, and government officials, we need to do more to promote a healthy, active lifestyle among the at-risk adolescents. That's really the biggest deal. So studies are showing that kids learn better when they have time for physical activity. I totally agree. Like back in the day, I would never want to think that I'm getting to the point where I would ever say back in the day, because it feels like yesterday, right? But we were like so active. Now, I know we didn't have the devices. I mean, even the video games were pretty like compared to what's now, like it looked like a piece of popcorn bouncing around on the TV screen. Like it's awful, but we thought it was cool. And they started to get better, you know, but it wasn't enough to keep our attention. I think now everything is so awesome that everything's fighting for your attention. Everything, TV, podcast, the internet for sure. And things are so advanced. And I think kids get into what they get into. But the last thing a lot of kids want to do is just go out and play and run around. Like that day has really changed a lot. Where, I mean, it was pulling teeth to get me to come in. Like literally my mother would be out in the neighborhood playing. She'd have to I'd be like clawing not to go inside, even to eat dinner. I just wanted to stay out and play nonstop until it was dark and I was still wanting to play. So physically active is something that I've always been. And I really enjoy it. And especially after sitting in school all day, I was like, let me, I got to go. So I just hope we will find ways to help kids get more active and be more physically active, because childhood obesity is going up through the roof. And it's like 1 out of 3 of our young people under the age of 11 has type 2 diabetes. That's crazy. Think about that. 1 out of 3. It's crazy, but it's the truth. And I think we need to do something about it. I think we need to deep dive in. We need to make something happen. Otherwise, our generation coming up underneath them is going to be in for a world of challenge. That's for sure. And I think it's sad because we have so much information, but it really comes down to behavior. It's like one more study comes out and we found this drug or we found this way to help with diabetes, but we're not addressing the behavior. Like no one is addressing the behavior. Like you think it's genetics? Or do you think it's the broken home that child comes from? Or do you think that it's the fact that their food sources are not that great? Or it's the fact that there's no one in the house to cook for them. They're eating out of boxes all the time with junk food because both parents are working. And I'm not faulting anybody for that. I'm just saying it is what it is. Like diabetes is not happening because the genetics are being passed down. There are genetic involvement, but it's not. It's like 10%, 5% maybe. It's lifestyle habits. We know that. It's proven. So until we tackle that, until we want to take on behavior, nobody wants to take on behavior. This is what I do. This is what we do here, by the way. If you haven't figured that out yet, this is why we do what we do. Because I don't want to see people suffer. And I can tell you after being almost 20 years of clinical practice, I can tell you that it's not just genetics. And it's not just, oh, oops, I've got high blood pressure. Like you look at that person's life and behavior, that's why their body's breaking down. You want to figure that out? That's why their body's breaking down. So that's the deal. I want to see our kids get better. I want them to have a better environment. I think we can do better as leaders and parents. We have to. Puts another hour in the charts. I want to thank our producer, Mr. Fig, also Derek Allen, and John Garrison, our chief engineer. Go tell one person something you learned on the show. Together, we can transform the health of our friends, our families, and our communities. You're listening to the show that helps you live your potential. This is Asa Rx.
Listen to the Asa Rx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora. For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the Asa Rx audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.